Do you dare to challenge everything you've known about the world around you? Is the reality you're living in merely an illusion created by your brain? Or is there a hidden world behind it that modern science is only beginning to unveil? We've been taught that this world is a solid reality, measurable, observable, and predictable. But is that truly the case? Do our perceptions of the world accurately reflect reality? Or are we living in an illusion crafted by our minds? When we pause and delve deeper into the nature of reality, we uncover a different world, a strange one that modern physics is beginning to reveal. This is the world of quantum physics, where the things we see and feel don't always reflect their true essence. Quantum physics is a theory that describes the behavior of tiny particles like electrons, photons, and quarks, where the rules of the macroscopic world we're familiar with no longer apply. These particles don't have a definite position until they're observed, and they can even exist in multiple places at once. Our perception seems to have the power to alter this reality. So, if we change our perception, can we change the reality we experience? This question opens the door to a reality stranger than we could imagine, and that is the essence of quantum physics. Quantum physics is a field full of contradictions, a blend of the bizarre and the potential to explain cosmic mysteries that classical theories cannot unravel. The first thing we need to understand about quantum physics is that reality is not a fixed entity. Imagine you're observing a tiny particle like an electron. When you're not looking at it, this electron exists as a cloud of probabilities with no definite position. But when you observe it, the electron collapses into a fixed position, like a solid object. This raises a crucial question about reality. If everything around us exists only as a cloud of probabilities, is the reality we perceive truly what it seems? Could we be living in a world where events don't occur until we witness them? This is where quantum physics marks a significant departure from earlier theories like those of Newton and Einstein. Those theories relied on a reality we could measure and observe objectively. But in quantum physics, observation itself is the factor that alters reality. We've been taught that the world around us is objective and exists independently of our perception. However, the observer effect in quantum physics reveals a profound and surprising truth. Our perception isn't just a process of receiving external information. It actively participates in creating reality. One of the key experiments in quantum physics is the double-slit experiment. In this experiment, particles like electrons are fired through a barrier with two slits. When unobserved, the electrons pass through both slits and behave like waves, creating an interference pattern on a screen. But when we observe the process, the electrons act like particles, passing through only one slit and producing no interference pattern. This raises a critical question. If observation can change the behavior of particles, could we alter the way the universe operates simply by changing our perception? This effect isn't just a phenomenon confined to experiments. It may reflect something in our daily lives. Perception can either limit or expand our possibilities. If we understand that reality isn't predetermined but can shift based on how we view and focus on it, we might be able to change the world around us. This also ties into cognitive psychology, where we recognize that the brain doesn't merely receive information. It processes, transforms, and constructs a unique model of reality for each individual. Perception isn't just what we sense, it's what we create. So, if we can change how we see ourselves and the world around us, could we alter the outcomes of our lives? Perception, much like the observer effect in quantum physics, can turn potential into tangible reality. We are not merely observers, we are creators of our own realities. Quantum entanglement, one of the strangest phenomena in quantum physics, teaches us a vital lesson. Everything in the universe may be deeply interconnected, regardless of the distance between them. As mentioned earlier, Einstein called entanglement spooky action at a distance. But whatever it's called, quantum entanglement is a fundamental part of the universe's nature. Two particles, even if separated by millions of light years, can still influence each other without being affected by time or space. When the state of one particle changes, the other changes instantly, with no delay, and no explanation for this exists within classical theories. This forces us to reflect on the nature of the universe. If all objects in the universe are linked in this way, could our actions, thoughts, and emotions also create connections between individuals and events across the cosmos? This relationship might extend beyond quantum particles. What we think, say, do, and feel could ripple through the universe, creating far-reaching effects not only in our own lives, but also for those around us. When we shift our perspective on life, when we act from a mindful and energized state, could we influence events in our lives and even impact others? This connection exists not only in the physical universe, but also in the relationships between people. We are not isolated individuals, but part of a vast cosmic network, where every action and thought can spark continuous change. Cognitive psychology shows us that what we perceive about the world isn't always the truth. What we experience in daily life isn't necessarily what's actually happening. It's how we interpret and process information from the world around us. Our brains constantly strive to build a model of reality based on sensory input. But this model isn't entirely accurate. It's shaped by our emotions, beliefs, and expectations. So, could our perception change the world around us? Just as in quantum physics, where particles can change states depending on observation, our brains can alter how we perceive reality. This might explain why, when we shift our perspective on a problem, we can see a completely different solution than before. Thus, perception can be a powerful tool for reconstructing our reality. If we change how we view ourselves and the world, we can transform not only our own lives, but also the world around us. Enhancing awareness, cultivating mindfulness, and recognizing false beliefs can help us gain a clearer understanding of life's true nature. Cognitive psychology and quantum physics together highlight a crucial insight. We can create the reality we live in simply by shifting our perception and focusing on the infinite possibilities the world offers. When Isaac Newton developed classical mechanics in the 17th century, he introduced us to a measurable, stable, and comprehensible universe. His laws helped humanity explain physical phenomena, from the motion of planets to gravity. However, as humans began exploring phenomena at the microscopic scale, Newton's rigid rules could no longer account for new phenomena, such as those in quantum physics. The advent of Albert Einstein's theory of relativity in the early 20th century expanded Newton's framework and offered a new perspective on space and time. Einstein showed that space and time are flexible, capable of bending under the influence of gravity. Relativity not only transformed our understanding of the universe, but also paved the way for the development of quantum physics. While Einstein brought significant shifts in how we understand time and space, quantum physics took a completely different approach. Quantum physics rejects the idea that the universe can be understood in the deterministic way of classical philosophy, asserting instead that the universe is a blend of possibilities, existing in overlapping states until observed. So, could our perception truly influence this transformation? Can we bridge these old and new theories to uncover a true connection to the nature of reality? In quantum physics, the wave-particle duality reveals an astonishing truth. Particles aren't always just particles. They can behave as waves or particles depending on how we observe them. This raises a critical question. Is our reality truly a fixed, objective thing? Or is it merely a reflection of how we perceive and interact with it? This theory is particularly evident in experiments like Thomas Young's Double-Slit experiment. In this experiment, when particles like electrons are unobserved, they act like waves and pass through both slits. However, when observed, they behave like physical particles, passing through only one slit. This change in behavior is simply due to human observation. So what does this mean? The fact is, perception can alter how reality takes shape. Imagine that each of us has the ability to create and change reality by viewing the world from different angles. This is a powerful concept, because if our perception can alter the microscopic world of particles, perhaps it can also change the macroscopic world we live in. In every moment of life, we might ask ourselves, is what I'm experiencing a product of how I perceive and react to it? The answer could open a new door to self-awareness and the ability to shape the future. Quantum physics doesn't just change how we view the physical world. It extends to concepts in cognitive psychology. Perception isn't merely a passive response to the world around us. It's part of the process of constructing the reality we experience. When we talk about perception, we're not just discussing how the brain receives information, but also how it processes and creates an image of the world around us. Our brains don't simply take in the truth. They build a model of reality based on that information. However, this model isn't always accurate. This is very similar to the observer effect in quantum physics. In the double-slit experiment, the act of observing changes how particles behave. In life, our perception also alters how we interact with the world and the reality we experience. So if perception can change reality in this way, how can we control and use it to create a better reality? One way we can do this is by gaining a deeper understanding of self-awareness and our ability to shift how we view things. These changes can make a significant difference in how we experience life. The big question: can we change the world around us simply by changing how we perceive it? Before Einstein developed relativity, time was considered absolute and unchanging. However, as he formulated his theory, Einstein showed that time can contract or stretch depending on the observer's speed or the strength of the gravitational field they experience. In quantum physics, time becomes even stranger. It's no longer seen as an absolute concept, but rather as a factor that can shift and be influenced by human interaction with the universe. But is time truly something that can change? Can we alter how time passes based on our perception and actions? There's a concept in quantum physics that time isn't always linear, and events don't occur in a fixed order. This shift opens up an incredibly exciting possibility. If we can change our perception of time, could we alter how we experience it? This isn't just a scientific idea, it's a question about mastering life and using time more effectively. When we look at the world of quantum physics and concepts in cognitive psychology, one thing is clear: reality isn't something pre-existing for us to observe. It's something we construct from our perception and attention. Theories of wave-particle duality, quantum entanglement, the observer effect, and all the concepts about the interplay between perception and reality suggest that we can change the world around us through our choices and perspectives. So if perception can create reality, this might explain why our lives aren't always a series of random events but a process of choice and perception. When you change how you view a problem, you don't just change how you feel about it. You can also change its outcome. You can actively shape your future through the perceptual decisions you make today. If every thought, action, and decision we make can alter reality, then the future isn't something predetermined. The future is a set of possibilities, all of which can become real as we shift our perception and choices. By combining quantum physics, scientific philosophy, and cognitive psychology, we can realize that reality isn't a fixed, eternal thing, but something malleable and created by us. Our perception isn't just a reflection of the world around us, it's a tool to change and reshape that world. When we alter our perception, we don't just change how we see ourselves, we create profound shifts in our lives and the world around us. You are not just an observer, you are the creator of your own reality. When you understand that reality can change, you'll no longer view life through a narrow lens, but will expand into the infinite possibilities you can create for yourself. So, what world will you create for yourself?